Hello and welcome to my channel at Mellow Magic. And today you're going to see the beginning of a brand new segment that we're calling Mellow Games. So the idea is that I play a bunch of different games semi-competently, and in turn, you guys absolutely love it. Or in turn, you guys absolutely like it. Hopefully, sort of like it, maybe, please. I just need you to look. Never mind. Point is, I'm Mellow. You can also call me Cameo, Chris, Token Black Friend, Hey You. Any of those, if you call me by that, I will probably answer. So today, we're going to be playing Pokemon Go Battle League. So they've got the various different seasons, and the current season that we are in is called Hidden Gems. There's various phases in these seasons, and until June 15th, the current phase involves a cup for the Ultra League called the Summer Cup. Unfortunately, today is June 15th, and because I kind of didn't get to put this video out when I wanted to, because life got in the way, and I'm just a general procrastinator. I'm failing at life, I guess. So you can't really use all the stuff that's going to be in this video today. However, number one, we're going to make this a pivot and turn this into a two-parter. So after we showcase the team today, in the near future, we're going to have a follow-up video where we're going to show off this team and see how it does in the Open Ultra League, because that is beginning pretty much today. The other benefit is that because they've now been within the last few seasons, they're starting to be a little more structured in their scheduling. You're pretty much guaranteed that you're going to at some point see this cup again. So if you're not able to use it today or this year, or this season, I should say, don't fret, don't fear. There's a good chance that you're going to see it again. So, as for what we're going to see today, we're going to take a look at the team that I am running in the Summer Cup. Now, the way that this works, they have a condensed meta. There's only certain types that are eligible. So whatever the Pokemon that you're using, they have to have included in their typing one of the following types. It's got to be either fire, electric, water, normal, grass, or bug type. So the cool thing about this is that since it condenses the meta, it allows you to shake up the meta. You're not going to see all of the same teams, the same tired Pokemon, etc. You get different ones. The other benefit is that, like, some niche strategies that otherwise would have a harder time taking hold, all of a sudden are a little bit harder to counter. And I'm all for, putting in a little bit less work and still getting great results. So bring it. We're going to abuse the hell out of that today. In that same idea, I tend to be a proponent of what are called ABB teams. Now, if you're not exactly sure what that is, quick Google search, you can take a look at it. You can see a couple examples. Like, you have your starter, that's going to be one type. That type tends to be a counter to the counters of your two Pokemon in the back, which tend to be the same. So you see, like, this one saying water and the two flying types to counter the grass, which would be the main counter you're going to see for the water types. Or the steel and the two grass types in the back. Psychic and two darks, fire and two waters, etc., etc. But basically, it works out to a much simplified flowchart compared to balance teams. Now, this is not mine. This is from Reddit. This is in the Self Arena. You can check them out. Shout out to them. I'm not trying to steal your stuff, but I am going to use it because it works. You have your lead, comes out. If your lead stomps whatever he's looking at, stays in there and stomps him. If not, you switch out to your safe swap. Your safe swap is the same, is close to the same typing or something similar to your closer. And the reason being, you switch to the safe swap that most likely baits out their strongest counter to his typing. You put up your little fight there, take the loss for that swap, and now they're stuck in the switch, and you can wreck their hardest counter with your starter. Once you get rid of that, it allows your closer to now not have to worry about getting hard countered, most likely. It allows them to just cruise. So that's cool, right? And in a similar fashion, the ABA works kind of in a similar line, except you start with one of the people who's similar to your closer. All that's fine and dandy, but it seems like it makes sense, right? Cool. What if I told you, however, I'm not using that? I'm using a triple A team. Sounds crazy, right? Are you intrigued? Well, if you are, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button because I need it. So without further ado, let's check out the team. This team is called It's 420 Somewhere. Now, I know when you look at the video, I didn't name it that yet. I'm retroactively naming it because it's cool. And this team is all grass all day. So just makes sense. So, like I said, it's a triple A team. All three of these guys are grass types. The lead is going to be Trevenant. It's a grass ghost type. It has Shadow Claw, which is probably one of the best fast moves in Pokemon Go. It's going to give you solid damage and solid energy output, which is pretty litty. Comes with Seed Bomb as its more bait move. It's still Stab though. It's a grass type Seed Bomb. And then Shadow Ball as the nuke move. And then also Stab because he is part ghost. It only really takes one extra Shadow Claw, because Shadow Claw is just that nice. That's why Trevenant's broken. If you look at the names underneath each of the Pokemon, that actually tells you what their stats are, their IVs, and how they stack up within the Ultra League. So I find, for me personally, it tends to be a little bit easier to just describe, your percentile ranking as opposed to the number rank. So rather than say, this Pokemon is like rank 100, you can just say this Pokemon is better than 98% of, the IV possibilities for this Pokemon in the Ultra League. I think it's a lot easier to quantify that and like visualize that in your head. So this Trevenant, it was a lucky Trevenant. So it's got higher base stats in general. But he's a 13, 14, 13, meaning it's got 13 attack for its IV, 14 defense, and 13 for its stamina or HP IV. But in Ultra League, that's still better than 71% of other Trevenants, right? So not bad. In the back, we've got Venusaur. Venusaur has access to Vine Whip as its quick move. Vine Whip got a buff within like the last couple seasons, so it generates energy super fast. And it has the Community Day move Frenzy Plant as the charge move. As the secondary charge move, we've got Sludge Bomb. Now, if you don't have the community version, you can use Petal Blizzard instead of Frenzy Plant. It's just like it's a significant downgrade because of just how much you have to charge up to get to Petal Blizzard, and it's just not as good. I would actually suggest, if you don't have the community version, you don't have the Elite TM to use on it, probably pivoting to, say, like a Sceptile. Now, Sceptile also had a community day, and so it also has access to Frenzy Plant, but honestly, you don't even need it, because Sceptile has access to Leaf Blade, which is not a community move, but it might as well be. It's going to be even cheaper to get to, and it does massive damage. I love it. And he has Bullet Seed as his quick move, which is still pretty fast in energy generation. It used to be faster, like the fastest one, and it was just the all-around best quick move for grass. Now I would say arguably Vine Whip has taken that. but it's still going to charge your energy super fast. And you can just spam out the leaf blades. And for the secondary move, particularly in this cup, because it allows you to cover your fire weakness a little bit better, he does have access to Earthquake. You can just go for neutral damage though and have Dragon Claw, and it'll probably still suit pretty fine. Because you'll be able to spam it a whole lot quicker than getting into Earthquake. Earthquake's more of a nuke type, but Sceptile is useful in this situation. It just isn't able to take a hit quite as well as a Venusaur can. But it's Ultra League, so it has some built-in birth, I guess. Girth, sorry. Anyway, that's the closer. We've got Trevenant on the lead. Now, what makes this team work, and it allows it to basically act like an ABA line, is Chesnaught. Now, Chesnaught has access to Vine Whip as a quick move, but we're not going to use that. He also has Frenzy Plant as his charge move, which was another Community Day move. And Superpower is a secondary move, which is nice, versatile. It adds another layer of coverage. If you don't have Community Day move for Chesnaught, you can get away with just using Energy Ball. Energy Ball is basically a poor man's Frenzy Plant. Does a little bit less damage for a little bit more energy. So it's not as efficient, but it will get the job done. Especially since the real reason Chesnaught is here and the real reason Chesnaught does work is the quick move. Smackdown. Smackdown smacks. So if you think about grass types, what's grass weak to? You got to worry about a flying type. You got to worry about fire types. You got to worry about bugs. You got to worry about ice types. Those are like the main ones that, off the top of my head I can think of that you got to worry about. And what do they all have in common? They're all weak to rock, right? The only other one that messes up grass that's not weak to rock that I can think of off the top of my head is poison. And if you notice, two of our Pokemon in here actually have built-in resistance for their second typing to poison. Trevenant being ghost type, and Venusaur being a poison type. So that means poison type attacks are only going to be doing neutral damage to them anyway, which means you can pretty much, survive poison. Not going to be too big of a deal. And all the other weaknesses, Smackdown slaps up. And it's oddly satisfying, especially seeing a grass type just destroying fires and flying types. It's beautiful. But that's what makes this team click. Chesnaught's the GOAT. And let's get into the action. So, we are coming in. Like I said, I didn't have the right name on there, but in the next video, it will be updated. It is 420 on there. It is 420 now, so I retroactively changed the name. So we're going to start this one out against Captain Grey Jim. And he had similar idea with the starter. He's got Trevenant on the lead. Now, if you see, he is 2,500. And you also can tell he's taken a little bit less damage from the Shadow Claws than I'm taking from his. It means he's probably a higher rank Trevenant, which is good for him because, he's taking less damage. Bad for him because I win CMP, which allows me to have a control over how this battle goes. I baited out his shield as he was using Shadow Ball. I just use Seed Bomb, and I actually prefer doing this against Trevenants. Seed Bomb does enough damage because Trevenant's not super bulky that it can hurt. And you see he's now used both of his shields. Now, he was probably just 2 Shadow Claws away from just ending me. He got a little antsy and threw the energy, and he probably didn't have to. There's an argument for both ways, but I bring out Chesnaught. He immediately switches to Jellicent, which tells me he's not really super well suited to handle grass types because Jellicent is water, and that's not going to fly here. Now he does send the Shadow Ball through. I let it go because it is Ultra League and Chesnaught can actually tank one of those. Plus, I didn't want to get baited with the shield. The shield is pretty important. I'd rather have it on my closer. And he's out of shields. And I knew I'm going to get one of these in. And sure enough, Frenzy Plant chunks. He's got another one coming out. It was a little too soon, so we're going to let this one go. It is indeed a Surf, and that allows us to farm down. We're actually ready already with another charge move, but we're going to switch out because we don't want to get farmed down by the Trevenant. We bring in Venusaur. He's scared and throws. We let it go because I don't think it's Shadow Ball, and it was not. And because he threw it, that allows me to just farm down. In comes Tentacle. So like we said, it's a water type. He is not super well equipped to handle a grass type. Now Tentacle does have a secondary typing of poison, which is allowing him to resist the Frenzy Plant while being super effective. Excuse me. So that means the Frenzy Plant's only doing neutral damage. That being said, we've got shield advantage, and Venusaur is a truck. So his win condition was for us to let this go through. So we're just going to go ahead and shield it up, even though it's only Scald and we're resisting that. And that allows us to farm down. And in the words of Zionic, that is a good game, well played to my opponent. Speaking of Zionic, Zionic is actually an integral part of why this team came together. So like he put up a video. I'll probably include the link to that video in the description. This is actually a couple years ago, before there was a community day or anything like that, with Chesnaught being used as his safe swap. And this was right when Charizard was like coming into its own. And so like being able to chunk him down with Smackdown was beautiful. So now we have an Abomasnow on the lead here. And what I've noticed with a lot of the Summer League Cups is that when they have grass types, they tend to lean into it and just use Razor Leaf as a quick move. Because you switch them in and you can start chunking like, say, a Swampert. He took that Shadow Ball straight to the face. And I think right there, it looked like he got caught in the animation. For Razor Leaf, it takes a little bit longer to go through. He put that second one through, and I'm pretty sure he wanted to go and use his Weather Ball. And he didn't get to because Smackdown's doing super effective damage. And I guess he saw the writing on the wall and he just top lefted and gave us that win. We take those around here. We are now 2-0. Let's go. So yeah, they tend to like lean into it, which does great against a Swampert or something like that. It's double weak, and that Razor Leaf comes in and it just starts chunking massive health. So now this one's against Lud's Armuk, I guess. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Here's the Charizard. So right now we only have one counter for Charizard, and since he's on the lead, we're gonna soft lose this matchup. Now, that's the plan at least. We get to the Shadow Ball, he gets to his move. Now I'm hoping it's a bait so that I can use my Shadow Ball. It was not a bait. That hurt. But Chesnaught comes in and he's more than capable of just ending Charizard's career here. Now Charizard was not going to get enough time to get up to Blast Burn, so this is only a Dragon Claw, and Chesnaught tanks it just fine and now has an energy advantage on what's coming in, and he comes in with a water type. So now granted it is Dragon, so this would have been neutral, but still it doesn't bode well for his backline that he's got a water type out here. Now right here, I made a mistake. I should have realized I was not going to make it to the Frenzy Plant, and I should have thrown that superpower. That extra damage probably could have gotten the last shield, because he might not have been as good at counting, and might have expected the grass type move. It would have hurt. Now he thumbs up the Octazooka. Now I thought it was Octazooka, but I've got two shields. I figured I could afford to take one of them for it. He shields up the Frenzy Plant. So I'm thinking whatever's in the back is pretty weak to this grass type. So, I'm in good shape, but I'm not going to get baited by this Octazooka again. So I let that one go through, And then I overcharge, and he still somehow catches on this Swampert. I guess it's better to be lucky than good because he didn't count that right. Swampert takes a Frenzy Plant to the face and then gets farmed down. So I've got another Frenzy Plant waiting, but I did take a little bit of extra damage. And now Kingdra comes back in, and I'm ready with another Frenzy Plant. However, that Dragon typing allows him to tank it just enough and then farm down for the victory with 1 HP and a dream, in the words of probably Zionic too. Might have been Rise. I don't know. Either way, that sucked. And if I just threw that superpower, I probably win the game. But again, I didn't promise you that I was going to be good, just semi-competent. Competent would have won. Either way, 2-1 still not bad. So we're going to get into this next battle. It's JSMB 405. And in comes Venusaur. Another grass lead. And again, like we were saying, for whatever reason, they're just going to lean into these grass types with Razor Leaf on the quick move. Now that's fine and dandy if you're using it against, say, the water types, because you can deal a lot of damage very quickly. Against a grass type, or against this team where everybody's a grass type, they're all resisting these moves, Razor Leaf's not going to do much. Now I guess he could see that. That's why he let that Shadow Vault go straight to the face. And now he's coming in with what should have been his strongest grass counter, since he allowed him to go down. And it's another water type. Now Empoleon isn't super bulky, so we're gonna go for the Shadow Ball because the seed bomb would have been neutral damage regardless. And he takes it to the face. Now we're gonna shield this up because there's no reason for him to bait here. He does have access to Hydro Cannon, but Drill Peck is the same amount of energy. And I think he was about 2 waterfalls away before he would have been able to get to the other one. So we were able to farm down, and in comes Swampert. So like we said, not really well equipped to handle grass types in the back. And he, I guess, saw the writing on the wall, knew he wasn't gonna win this one. Lets the Seed Bomb go through and figured he'll take his shields with him to the next game. And we will take the dub. So now we improve this set to 3-1. Again, competent would have been 4-0. We're only doing semi-competent here, so you're just gonna have to settle. Anyway, we're 3-1. We're coming into our final battle of the set, and we are going against Dark Knight 2721. He comes out with the Poliwrath, which is music to my ears. Granted, Poliwrath does have access to Ice Punch. It is a fairly low energy cost, so we're going to see that early and often. That's what's most likely coming here. I'm going to let this one go because even though it is low, it is super effective. It's not a super high damaging move, and I wanted to see just how many of those I would take. This was an immaculate catch. Just read me like a book, I didn't realize I had a library out there. Catches the Seed Bomb on the Charizard, and that does nothing. Charizard coming in. This is probably Dragon Claw, but Dragon Claw is enough to take me out, so I'm going to use my shield because I should get it back pretty much immediately. If he knows what's good for him, he's going to shield the Shadow Ball, expecting that I don't have something really good to counter him. He's going to take that shield. And now let's switch right into the Chesnaught because Charizard is still locked in to this matchup and he's going to get wrecked. And that was too quick. It's only Dragon Claw. He was not going to be able to get to a Blast Burn because SmackDown just dealt so much damage. He's double weak to Rock, being that he's part flying and part fire. And so that was just all bad for Charizard. Now we get to a Frenzy Plant here against the Poliwrath, who now comes back in, which tells us that we've got some weak sauce stuff in the back. Comes out with a Dynamic Punch, deals his damage, and switches out into Gyarados. Now, you see, I did learn from the mistake. I did try to throw the superpower. it's resisted because Gyarados is part flying, but it would have at least done something. But he went down again with energy. But Venusaur comes in with shield advantage on this Gyarados, so kind of like our odds. Comes in with the frenzy plant, and look how much damage that was. And then the clutch play of the day, we bring in the sack swap on Trevenant and catch the outrage. That is absolutely huge because Gyarados with the Aqua Tail does nothing. And so like he had to go for the big guns. Having that caught on there without me having to use my shield means that I can just safely shield at this Ice Punch. Even though I probably would have survived it, I can safely shield this up. And Venusaur is more than capable of getting to the Frenzy Plant in time to end this Poliwrath's career. Bam! GG no we out this B. So, as you can see, strong team, right? Followed up a 5-0 set with this one, which was a 4-win out of 5 set. And then as a reward, we get ourselves a nice little meta type. And you're going to see me failing to get the excellent throw because I'm bad at this game. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for checking it out. And if you liked what you saw, again, please hit that like and subscribe button because I crave validation. Be real. All right. Anyway, thanks. And I'll see you next time on the channel.